Hey people, it's DL Gamer, and I'll be playing some Diablo 3, and as the title says, I'm just doing some farming and then augmenting to be able to farm more. So that's all there is to it. Let me get right into it and pick up where I left off. So, please sit back and enjoy the stream, Alright, let me see, I need to go color this. This is vanishing dye. This is purity dye. There we go. Cool. Change the coloring on this because it looks kind of cool. There we go. That's vanishing dye. Cool. There we go. How's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. As the stream says, I'm just doing some farming and augmenting after I farm. So let's see, what I need to do here is, those are only at level rank 25, so I need to go to 30. Running out of gold here, so I'm only going to be able to do 4. How many keystones do I have? I got plenty of keystones. Oh, you know what I'll do? I'm actually going to take this to a public game that has 4 players in it, and then do it that way. Game settings. So if I go to public and then do GR, it's more apt to have 4 people in it that haven't started yet. Nope, that's only 1. Shoot. This is not good. Try again. Nope, this is terrible. Who is even in this game? How many people? There's only 21 people. That explains it. Yeah, they're probably all inside. You know what? I'm just going to go into a regular Rift game. There's probably 4 people in there. Yep. There's 4 people here. It'll be good. Let me go in. Shows, let's do him. Wizard, Monk, and Crusader. That's interesting. Yeah, how's it going, man? Welcome to the stream. What are you up to? I just hope the quality on this is good. They're probably going to close it. Yeah, they're going to close it. I'm going to make a I got to make a video on why closing a rift is really not good. Somehow people have got it into their head that it's more you somehow get more items by closing a rift, which is totally impossible. But I should say closing the rift early. It's impossible to get more items if you close the rift early. I just need the gold out of here. It's funny how you can be that far away from it and actually trigger it. Baroness of the Vault. She is a female. Let's see. It's not anything I'm going to need. All right. Well, that's it on that. Leaving that now, I can go do some ranking of my gems. Private. So 40. This is kind of a mess. It's ridiculous how many of these friggin' grotesque things there are. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I hope the stream is looking good. This is kind of like a full-blown test. Man, it is ridiculous how many of these friggin' grotesque things there are. Yeah, this is only a GR40 because I'm simply ranking gems right now, so there's no reason for me to do that right now. Gosh darn it! What the heck are with all these grotesque things? Yeah, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. I hope the stream quality looks okay. Testing out different settings and different bit rates right now. My internet got a really massive upgrade from what it was. So hopefully the stream quality looks good. How's it going, man? Yeah, I got to I can't test my own stream because my own network is like 40 to 45 megabytes upload speed. So I have to I don't know, do it, you know, just friggin' lay it out there and hopefully it does well. Hopefully it's not lagging or anything because I'm using an X264 segment, which I normally wouldn't have been able to do. But right now I'm just I'm using a low quality game that doesn't take much CPU power. I think if I was streaming something like Origins or something like that. Oh shit, I gotta tell this kid that I'm streaming. Oh, he left. Actually, I gotta tell him. So you know. There we go. Actually, I really should just mass message all my friends that. Oh, thanks. I hate that game. Like, that's a game I can't stand. Like, I really cannot stand that game. I hate it. It's literally, I don't like it, so I really, hold on. I don't like it. I really don't like it, so I won't even waste my time making a video on how bad it is. Like, I've already done it, but it's to the point where I won't. To me, making a video out of it's a waste. It's a total waste of time. Well, I have the reason I have a problem with it is because everybody that plays it simply doesn't understand that the game has the game has one damage type. It gives off the impression that it has like elemental damage, but it doesn't. All the damage numbers are white. You have absolutely no clue if an enemy has any resistances and if they are, what they are, so you have no way to gauge any type of attack that you're doing against an enemy. If you do an attack with any elemental damage and regular damage, it's all white. The numbers are all white. It doesn't even have an indicator on if it's even doing any other damage types. It's ridiculous. The game is... It's too bad, too, because I like those style games, and I can't stand that. But that's why I said the game it's not good, because it's literally structured so bad. Okay, this is... The equivalency of it is like like having somebody who's never learned calculus sit down in a class and just say, okay, learn it. There's literally no explanations that leads up to anything, and then there's no explanations on... They'll put DLC in, create quests, and then never, there's no way to know how the DLC even starts. People are like, well, you should read this, this, and this. Like what you're reading only a nerd that plays that game who notices like a leaf blow, like if there's like normally 25 leaves blowing across the screen and somebody goes, no, well, you know enough to read this when only 19 leaves blow across the screen. That's just how ridiculous it is. That's how badly they implemented all that stuff. It's really horrible. So I won't even waste my time with it. It is that bad. I got that game free too. What's funny too is I won't even sit down and play the storyline in that, but yet I'll sit down and play the storyline in this. Cool. No. Well, alright, I mean, you could say it's boring. I don't think it is boring. It just literally has no direction from the time you start. It literally almost has no... Now, this is the bizarre part. This is coming from somebody, me. I don't pay attention to storylines in games. Now, I'm not saying a game shouldn't have a storyline. I just don't pay attention to them. And I still think that sometimes there's too much talking inside these games. Hold on a second. I gotta get the phone. Alana, can you hand me the phone? Hold on, I gotta see if I don't know what the hell this is. Hello. Alright, thanks, bye. Okay, that's interesting. Oh shit, I gotta actually fix your name inside this stream. I didn't realize it was that bad. I didn't realize your name was black. That's gonna actually go against the grain. I have to fix that. Hey, by the way, I have to ask, how does this stream look as far as quality-wise? Does it look okay or not? No, it's 20. I gotta go 30 on that. Like, how good, though? Because I'm trying to adjust it according to the, because I only had 5 minutes. I don't know if you've seen my streams before, but I only had, last time I was doing them before I actually started streaming again, like, today is the first time I've actually really streamed, like, outright streamed with the upgrade from the internet. So I need to know, well, I mean, this game doesn't actually reuse much, it doesn't use much CPU, so I can stream it with X264, whatever the hell that shit is. I don't know anything about that stuff. Hey, give me what you have in your hand. Come here. Hey, how's it going, buddy? Welcome to the stream. Let me see what you have in your hand. Come here. Oh, you got some raisins? Okay, sit at the table, honey. How's it going, guys? Welcome to the stream, man. Yeah, so what I have to do is I have to make sure that the stream quality I have, because like I said, this is the first outright stream I've done since the upgrade to my internet. And it's like I said, I've gone from 5 megabytes upload speed to 45. I thought it was only 35. It's not. It's actually 45. I was like, wow, it's actually much higher than I thought it was going to be. So while it may not be the best, it's a significant boost. So that's going to be 30. That would be 40. How is this kid not there? Once I get this, once I get my gems ranked up, I use this guy to rank the gems really quickly, and then I have another character I have built for higher GRs. I won't be able to do the GR level without with the other character because it won't work properly due to doing one-shot damages, doing the one-shot kills, I should say. I don't know if you know anything about Diablo, but basically I have to use this build to farm and then rank gems early on, and then I have to use the other build to get further with the ranked gems. Don't hit it, don't hit it. Now most people will only do, I don't know if you're... Yeah, me too, when it comes to the streaming stuff. So... part of the problem when it comes to knowing how to stream or what settings it is, what happens is there's a lot of useless, like there's a lot of information in there, like such as people, you and I, such as, you know, people like you and me don't really care about. We don't want to know why, you know, 2-bit works according to this. I don't care. Just tell me what settings to set, and then I'll just go. I don't need to, What game has Creation Club? Yeah, I already did it. Actually, I have a live stream announcement video for that. I'm teaching people the proper way to make mods. The modding community has no idea what the hell they're doing when it comes to creating them, and that's due to their fault for following people. But then what happens is I've already posted why your mods break games, and then all they do is they argue with me for like 2 years, and then after arguing with me for 2 years, all of a sudden the Nexus stole my information and put it up on there, and now all of a sudden everybody's listening to it. And it's ridiculous. Somebody's like, you can't prove that the Skyrim mods are causing problems with the games. I'm like, I absolutely can. It's very simple to prove. Go look at the history of Morrowind. I mean, go look at the history of every single Elder Scrolls game that ever has mods. Every single time a game comes out from Elder Scrolls On, or any Bethesda game, the same exact thing happens with all of them. People use mods, they mess around with their game system, or they mess around with the way the files or whatever it is. Even before the creation kit's out, they start messing around, they start using console commands. Then their game breaks, and they continue, the topics are flooded. You know, my game's broken, and then inside 99% of those topics, inside all of them, well, I shouldn't say all of them, but inside 99% of these topics where somebody says my game is broken, they start listing mods that they've used. And it's done, it's literally, the game will come out, people will mess with the consoles, the console commands, they'll do their own thing and edit the files and everything else, their game will break, and then they'll put a topic up saying, my game's broken, and then they'll blame the game company. Instead of looking at even the pattern itself on every single Elder Scrolls game, it's the same thing with every single one of them. They do that and they say their game is broken and then blame the company. When you tell them to stop using mods broke the game, they argue with you. And yet the entire forum is filled with topics of my game's broken, Bethesda needs to fix this is broken, or whatever it is. And instead of looking at how many people post a topic when there's something wrong with their game, how many people are listing, here's the list of mods I used, or here's the console commands I did, it doesn't get through their head no matter what they do. No, it's not a bad website. It's a website that is misinformed, and they have people believing stuff that's not true. And here's the other thing. The Nexus is a bunch of hypocrites because they supposedly don't allow inappropriate language, and yet the entire place is filled with nude mods and things like that. Right? It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. All right, so let me try this here. I gotta jack this up. I have a I'm actually using the OBS website to make a new video on because I always tell people, you look at some of my videos, I've actually posted up that asking for help on forums is useless. It's totally useless. Dude, I had to repeat. I want to basically, I don't want to say being forced to repeat myself 4 times, but I wound up repeating myself 4 friggin' times on the OBS website to get information about something. And instead of getting the answer I did, they just harped on something. And then I was like, this place is like, I would have been better off talking to a friggin' monkey. If I had known I wasn't going to be this much, I wasn't not going to get help for the exact question I needed. They're like, well, we need this. I'm like, you don't need that to do this. It's retarded. It's ridiculous. And I even pointed it out, right? If you go look at the topic, when I make the video, you're gonna laugh because it just shows you how dumb these places really are. So, and this is one of the main reasons why I said following videos for any type of advice or going to a forum is basically useless because it's like the Steam forums. It's like everything's a big joke. Yeah, there we go. Okay, if you go to any website about OBS, right? I asked a very specific question about OBS. I posted everything up, right? I said every setting I've tried so far when I was testing it, and it might have just been because of the testing I was doing. I said every test I've done so far, no matter what setting I've used, looks like garbage. And I posted up, you know, here's the entire settings, you know, the latency, the screen, you know, my gigahertz on my screen refresh rate, everything. You know, the motherboard I have, everything. So, and then I said every setting I've used on either X264 or the other one seems to run like crap. And so what happened was they kept saying I didn't leave a, like what my, they're like, well, can you post a log file? I'm like, why do you need a log file? Why do you need something just to friggin' post, say, here's an example of how you do this? And they're like, well, you know, this, that. I'm like, you don't need my log file to answer a simple question because I'm not asking. It's a generic setup. I said, what, you know, here's a suggestion. Well, you didn't post your bit rate. I says, I absolutely did. Now, this is the stupidity level of what I'm talking about. Okay. If you look, I said the very first sentence I said in my topic, no matter, I said every setting I have used. And that, hold on a second. Give me a second, I gotta reply. No, that's not the issue. No, what it is the issue that I'm talking about right now, the specifics on what I'm talking about, is this is why I said going to the website's useless. It's almost like they have no comprehension at all on what like how to read, even after it's pointed out. They're like saying I did not say what bit rate I used. I says I absolutely did. The very first sentence, and I highlighted again. I says no matter what, I said every setting I have tried. And I says, every setting would include the bit rate. So, asking me what specific bit rate I use, pick one. I tried them all. So, to say that I didn't leave a bit rate after that is it's idiotic. And what it is I I didn't want to get into it with them. I'm like, look, this is ridiculous. I said, you're annoying. You're really. I said, I don't. I said, this is. I said, if I had known it was going to be this much of a problem, I never would have, I never would have posted here. I says, I'm not going to sit and repeat myself to people who have no reading comprehension, and then after I post it again, still tell me I didn't tell you anything. I said, if you don't understand what the term every setting I've tried means and would include bitrate, then I'm not going to sit and discuss this with you any further. Well, no, I'm actually the live stream is actually I'm teaching people how to use it. I'm actually going through live, and I'm showing the ins and outs of how to use. Like, I have a very specific teaching method. Every single person I've ever taught in how to use the creation kit from Skyrim on has learned how to actually utilize the system properly. Because I have this comment where I say to people, they say that's the same thing. It doesn't make any sense. I'm like, it's not the same thing. But what I tell people is there's a major difference between using the creation kit to make a mod and making a mod using a creation kit. They're two separate things. One is just if you want to go make a mod with it, go ahead. Just go watch a video and throw it together. But if you actually want to use the creation kit to make a mod, that's totally different because you have to know the ins and outs. You have to know exactly what you're doing. You have to know it's a long, drawn-out process. So the fact is that people are just they don't get it. And the specific method that I use for teaching. Oh, I just freaking died. The specific method that I use for teaching. Well, I don't know. I have no idea if I fixed it because I don't know I don't know much about this tech crap. The only thing you can do with OBS is to mess with the settings until you get your way of doing it. There's no way that you can't use my settings on your stuff because everybody's computer is different. So, for example, like when I posted my information about what processor I have an i7 6700. Now, most people that have that actually somehow think that an i6700 is a 6700K, and that's not true. A 6700 is not a 67K. It's a different model. So that's the other thing that people need to understand. And so I've actually had people say, well, your processing speed is this. And I says, no. I says, you clearly didn't read. I said, what you're talking about is a 6700K. I says, I have a 6700. So somebody tried saying that there's no way that you could have this or, it runs at least this GHZ level. Hey, give me a second. I got to get the door. I'll be right back. Alright, sorry guys, I'm back. What do you mean? No. No, no, no. They just swapped out the net speed, and then after that, that happened. Like I said, I don't really watch the cable. I only get the internet to stream. Thanks, buddy. Where is this kid? Oh crap, he's over there. That's terrible. I'm going the wrong way. Yeah, how's it going, guys? Yeah, so anyway, as I was saying, I'm going to wind up doing a live stream on the on how to use the Skyrim Edition creation kit. And basically the same principle would also apply to, you know, Fallout and stuff like that. Because there is a specific way, there is a proper way to make a mod, and I actually got into this. What prompted me to do this is I was in somebody else's stream that I was talking to, and we promote each other. And so what ends up happening is I want to make a stream about, you know, it's actually on my channel. If you go look at it, it's the problem with the mods in Skyrim. Unfortunately, the first like 10 minutes of that was me fixing, helping other stuff and answering other people's questions from the previous stream. So it's like you have to skim through it for like the first 10 minutes, but it's all on there. It explains like what's wrong with them and everything else, and if you listen to it, it'll make sense. And so you'll start to see why, you know, people that are creating mods, it's not their fault, but it's not their fault that the mod's coming out that way, but it is their fault that the mods are coming out messed up for not listening to me. And I'm not saying that to be cocky, it's just, it's a fact. Because, I mean, like I said, if you go to any, come here, honey. Hey, come here. Oh, my daughter's in the bedroom. I'll be right back. I gotta check on her. I don't call my kid my kid. That's a goat. Kid's a goat. Hey, come here, honey. Alana, come here. Come here, honey. Come here, sweetie. Alright, so let me see here. So as I was saying about the stream and stuff like that, there's no way you can actually tell somebody how to do their settings. Hey, Alana, leave them alone. Come here. Come here. Oh, she's sitting at the table. So yeah, you can't. The only way to do it is, like, let's say you wanted to use x64 encoding. Hold on a second. That's lovely. If you do x64 encoding, you'd have to start off with, if you want to do a test, you'd have to, you know, mess around with the profiles and then adjust the bit rate. And then if you do, because I think YouTube does a 9,000, I don't know if they lifted that or it's a 9,000, the bit rate of 9,000. But if it's not, then you can adjust it. So I think I put one of my tests, I did x64 with profile of faster, and then put it to like 11,000. It was stuttering really bad on Assassin's Creed Origins, and so I have it on I think 9,000 with this. What do I have? Hold on one second. Settings. I'll put. Yeah, I have the bit rate at 9,000 on this with, you know, x64 encoder with CPU. The profile is main and my something faster on this. So the I should say the CPU usage. But if I tried that on Assassin's Creed Origin, another graphic heavy game, it would lag really bad because x64 uses your CPU. Well, here's the problem. The tutorials are not confusing. What it is they're incomplete. So, for example, if you go look up, I confronted somebody on one of their tutorials. Hey, come here, honey. Come here. What do you got? Let me see it. Give me a second, I'll be right back. Come over here then. You get a chance to come over here if you want to sit with Daddy. You need to behave. Okay, so anyway, sorry about that. Let me give you an example. Hey, no, get away from them. Don't do that. Get away from them. You know better than that. Come here. Come here. I'll come over there. Ran away. So anyway, what are you doing? Hey, give me those. No. You're not going to go in the room with those. Give me those. Come here. Come here. Come here. Oh, peekaboo. Say hi. Wave hi.
Oh, say hi. Wave hi.
Hi. You're on TV. Easy. Ooh. Alright, you'll stay at you don't go in the room with those. Alright, so anyway, one of the examples that I use is I confronted somebody on one of the mods that they were doing. And so, yeah, she looks just like me, huh? So anyway, my wife and I keep joking around. We should go on Maury Povich, and Maury they'd be like, hey, they'd be asking me, you don't think she's hers? I'm like, no. My wife doesn't think she's hers. just because. Talkers are so ridiculous. My friend and I are always looking at each other like, why would anybody subject themselves to doing that? I know they get paid to do it, and it's not real TV, but still, that's ridiculous. Why would you even do that? Do you really need money that bad? So anyway, back to what I was saying about the modding. One of the people I confronted he said, I'm going to show you how to do this mod. That was the topic of his video. He said, I'm going to show you how to make this mod. What happened was, he showed that statement is a double standard. I don't want to say double standard. He showed it, but he didn't show it. That would be like these people who make these videos and these tutorials would be the equivalency of me saying, hey, do you want to know how to make $800, $400, $800, even $1,000 a week? If so, call this number, and then I give a number to call. And then when you call the number, you hear, okay, you read about my ad to try to do this, so get ready and write this important information down on how to make $400, $800, or even $1,200 a week. WORK, and hang up on them. See, I told you, but I didn't tell you. So these people that do these, by the way, that was actually a 900 number my friend and I set up. We were going to set up, and I told them don't do it because you'll get sued for false advertising, even though you told them, you didn't tell them. So it's one of those. It's going, man. So anyway, that's what these people with these tutorials do. They tell you, but then they leave information out and then argue that the information that they gave you told you. So, for example, one of the people that I confronted he said that he's going to show you how to make this mod. And what wound up happening was, in order to make the mod, you have to know how to script. So, in his video, he used, well, I'm not going to teach you how to script. Then I turned around and I said to him, then you didn't teach them how to make the mod. Well, I'm not going to teach people how to script. I said, then don't title your video. You're going to show somebody how to do that. If scripting is involved, and then you don't go over the scripting process. You can't do that because you're basically titling your video with something. And if you don't script, your mod can't be finished. Well, I never said I was going to show you how to script, and they just start manipulating what's being said, when in reality, if you're going to say, I'm going to show you how to make this mod and scripting's involved, you cannot leave the scripting out, because that's what basically is part of what making the mod work in order for you to make it. So when people do that, I call them out on it, and they need to stop doing that. And that's my point to why you were having a problem with these tutorials and everything else. It's not hard. It's just, it's either incomplete or they're leaving out information and then they argue about it. So, for example, In Skyrim, a lot of good mods, I'm talking like really well put together mods, require papyrus scripting. Now, most of the people on the forum in the Nexus will tell you that in order for you to learn papyrus scripting, well, start at the wiki. Wrong. The wiki, what they're not telling you is, to them, since they already know how to script, they think the wiki is going to teach you, and it doesn't. The wiki is actually a reference point for people who already know how to script. You cannot learn scripting off of the wiki. Anybody that tells you that is lying. You cannot do it. So that is the problem with these people. They get it in their head, and they get this information from the Nexus, and that's where all this crap comes from. That's why if you listen to my if you go back and you watch my stupid on the internet, I don't want to say it, and my daughter's here, but if you go and watch that video, I expose a lot of stuff, and it's not just for that particular aspects. It's for all aspects like that, and that's the problem with the internet. And then what happens is people say, well, this isn't school. Okay, then you shouldn't even be posting a video or announcing you're going to show somebody something if you're not going to go over all parts of it and then use the excuse, well, that's not my job. Well, if you announce it, it actually is your job. And then what happens is, because they don't want to deal with that, they'll start saying, oh, it's all semantics and everything else. That's why people don't like my channel. It's because I call them out on stuff that they do that they shouldn't be doing. And then you get the whole, well, it's impossible to write directions like that. Okay, then don't friggin'... If you can't, explain what you're doing, then don't post what you're doing. Yeah, but here's the thing, it's not school. And that's one of the main debates I get into with people, gamers and stuff like that. If you go and look at any of the Division videos, I'm actually talking to people on the stream who actually think that, you should have common sense when it comes. No, games are not schoolwork. So why should anybody have to look anything up? I mean, if you want to, that's on you. But don't go around saying because you look something up or because there's videos out there, that exempts the developer from doing their job. That's garbage. And what happens is they're like, well, if you look it up, you're more apt to remember it or know how to do it. No, that's schoolwork. That's not a game. That's not what a game is designed for. It's ridiculous. Hey, get out of the kitchen. Get out of the kitchen. Get out of there. You know better than that. Right, so there's two different types of people in that regard. There's people who actually are so wrapped up that they actually can't provide basic instructions because they just can't do it. Their mind isn't capable of doing it because they're so far advanced. And then there's the people who are just trolling to spite people, knowing what you're saying and just saying it anyway because the rest of the internet's like that. So what you wind up with, hey, sit down when you're eating that. Hey, get away. No. Sit down when you have your mouth full. You know better than that. Give me a second. I'm going to go check on her in a second. I need to hear where she is. Oh, she's sitting down, all right. Yeah, so here's a prime example. You'll hear people that are really, really, really intelligent, like somebody who's really intelligent can't eat soup. They'll spill it all over themselves, or they can't tie their shoes. Now, you'd figure how somebody can be that intelligent and not do that. That's just the way the human mind works. They can do something so overly complex that they can't do something simple. So let me see here. I need to figure this out. Did I die on this one? No, I did not. Don't stop messing around. So, case in point, one of the main examples I use is the Dragon Age Origins forum that my friend, when Dragon Age Origins came out, a friend of mine was, him and I are talking, and he was basically, because he knows the videos I did, and he would actually message me. He goes, dude, you should see the stupid questions people are asking on these forums. I'm like, what do you mean? So I went, he goes, here, just take a look at them. So I'm reading through them all, and there's a bunch of arguments breaking out. I'm like, what are they arguing about? So, give me a second. Vitality, that. You have to use 2 knives, maximum discipline. Use tax fee. Yeah, that's not any good. Now, sit down and stop stuffing your face. Do you want me to take those away? Then sit down and stop stuffing your face. You know better than that. Want me to tell Mommy? Okay. Alright, so anyway, the one of the examples I was using, I was reading the Dragon Age Origins forums, and basically BioWare had made the game around the tactics menu. If you've never played the game, there's something in it called the tactics menu, where it's basically setting up how your AI interacts, and then what would happen is your character's tactics are set up in case you happen to swap to one of the AIs. Come on in, come here. Come here, what's the matter? No, no, put that away. No, put that away, we're going to eat dinner soon. So, what happens is, put that away, put it back in the fridge, and you put that bowl back. Give me a second, I'm going to make sure she does this. Alright, so anyway, the, back to what I was saying, the, hold on a second, give me a minute, I need to adjust this, 34, 35, so that would be 50, alright, so I gotta set this to level 50. Okay, so anyway, what happened is the, BioWare made the game revolving around the tactics menu, and basically the tactics menu is, again, what I said, it was just a way for it's a way to set up your AI behavior, so when you're in a group, it would react the way you wanted it. Now, BioWare also made a way for you to micromanage your characters, and people that were doing this, since the tactics menu wasn't explained, which doesn't make any sense to me, because it's so simplified, it was complex, and it was so complex, it was simplified, so it was really... It actually wasn't that easy to explain. I figured out a way to finally do it, but it wasn't that easy to explain. But BioWare still could have given an example use of it. I mean, hell, if I wound up explaining how to use the tactics menu in 5 minutes, there's no reason that BioWare couldn't. And that brings me to the point on why people forget things, because they're so used to doing it, they'll skip parts and think, well, I shouldn't have to teach this. Yeah, actually you should, because somebody might not be able to follow along with what you're doing. And trying to use that as an excuse to not explain it is ridiculous. So anyway, so BioWare didn't explain the tactics menu. So what happened is that brings me to the point on the question my friend pointed out to me that people were asking on the forum. So you had the experienced players who were familiar with the way BioWare's mechanics were on one section of the forum, kind of not having an issue, and then you had the newer players on the other half of the forum who were having problems because they weren't familiar with BioWare's mechanics, so they didn't understand it because it was just really put together really badly. I didn't even understand it when it was put together, so I was like, what the hell is this? So I would actually post pictures, and somebody goes, how the hell did you design that? I had an experienced player ask me, how the hell, that's not even supposed to be like that. How did you get like that? I says, I photoshopped the picture to show that this is how the tactics menu is supposed to look. Or, if you're going to adjust it in this fashion and get people to use it, this is what people are looking for. I says, whether or not it's actually like that, I said, where is the other half of the menus? Yep. Give me a right, I got to deal something. I'll be right back. Okay, give me 1 second. Just give me 1 second, sir. Alright, anyway, listen, it's as I suspected, they get the cable people that are here, they have to disconnect something from the internet. I'm going to get disconnected from the internet till they fix this. So what I'm going to do is just give me a minute to Give me a minute to restart this. So I'll be back on in like 10 minutes or so. Just keep an eye out for the stream. Alright, guys? So just give me a few minutes. I knew this was going to happen, so just give me a few minutes. Alright, so I'm going to end this. Just give me a few minutes.